Good morning Year 8 and welcome to today's maths lesson. Here's a starter to begin our lesson. Can you find for me, I think of a number, multiply it by 4, my answer is 20. What was my number? For the second question, I think of a number, I subtract 7 from it and my answer is 11. What was my number? For the next question, can you find 25% of 24 for me? And finally, could you increase 24 by 25%? Pause the video and answer these questions in your light blue books now, please. Okay, so for the first two problems, there are multiple ways you could think about them. I'm going to set it up as an equation. I'm going to call my number x, and I'm going to say that 4 lots of whatever my number might be, x, gives me my answer, 20. I can now work out what x is by dividing both sides of my equation by 4. Dividing by 4 tells me that my original number must have been 5. For the next question, I said I think of a number, let's call it x, I subtract 7 from it, and my answer is 11. What was my number? Let's solve it like a linear equation. Let's add 7 to both sides. And Henry, what does that leave me with? Exactly, x is equal to 18. Thanks very much. For my next question, I asked you to find 25% of 24. Now 25, as a percentage, remember percent means out of 100, this means I need to find 25 1/100ths of 24 or a quarter of 24. To do that, I divide 24 by 4, which gives me what, Mia? 6. Lovely, thank you very much. And finally, I was asked to increase 24 by 25%. We know that 25% of 24 is 6, so we just need to add that on for my final answer. 24 plus 6 gives me what, Tamsin? 30. Thanks very much. Let's head into today's lesson. Here's our lesson destination for today. We're going to be looking at two-step linear equations. To start us off, let's do a quick recap. When we said we were solving linear equations, that meant to work out the unknown variable. For example, in this case, we're talking about x, so we want to get x on its own on one side of the equation. This time I've got 3 plus x, so I need to subtract 3 to leave me with x on its own. Subtracting 3 on both sides, 10 take away 3 leaves me with 7. For the next question, I've said x take away 7 is 18. This time I want to add 7 to both sides. Adding 7 to both sides tells me that x is going to be equal to 25. Over to you, Year 8. Can you please, in your light blue books, have a go at these two questions for me. Pause the video and work those out now, please. Right, let's go through the answers. I want x on its own, so for the first one, I needed to subtract 5 from both sides, which left me with x is equal to 5. And for the second one, I wanted x on its own, and to do that, I want to add 7 to both sides. Negative 3 plus 7 gives me 4. So x is equal to 4. Hopefully we're all confident on that. That was something we covered last lesson. Let's do something new. We probably covered this in Year 7, but we're going to recap it again just in case. I'm going to do a couple of examples and then you're going to do some examples. So pens down, eyes on me to start with. I've got 4x equals 8 and I want to solve it to get x on its own. What do I need to do to 4x to give me x on its own, Ollie? I need to divide it by 4, very wise. Whatever I do to one side, got to remember to do it to the other. 8 divided by 4 will give me 2. For the second question, I've been told that x divided by 4 equals 8. Again, I want x on its own. To do this, I want to multiply both sides by 4. That leaves me with just x on the left-hand side. And on the right-hand side, I've now got 8 times 4, which gives me 32. Over to you, Year 8, in your light blue books. Pause the video for a minute or two and have a go at these two questions for me. Right, let's run through the answers. This time I've got 4x equals 20. In the same way, I'm going to divide both answers by 4, which leaves me with 5 on this side, x on this side, so x is equal to 5. We can double check. We can say, is 4 times 5 equal to 20? Yes, it is. And for the next one, I'm going to multiply both sides by 4, which leaves me with x is equal to 80. Let's see how confident we are. Mini whiteboards or light blue books, 3x equals 15, solve it for me. Pause the video if you need. Right, dividing both sides by 3 gives me that x is equal to 5. Let's do another. How about now? Same again, we want to divide both sides by 3, which leaves me with x is equal to negative 5. How about now? Pause the video if you need. Again, divide both sides by 3 gives me that x is equal to negative 5 over 3. I could write that as a mixed number, couldn't I, Jonas? That would give me negative 1 and 2/3. Either answer would be correct. How about now? What are you going to do? Okay, this time we want to divide both sides by negative 3 to give me x on its own. Negative 5 divided by negative 3. What's a negative divided by a negative, Lily May? It gives us a positive, exactly. So if I divide both sides by negative 3, I get positive 5 over 3. Let's do another. What are you going to do now? This time we need to multiply both sides by 2. Timesing both sides by 2 tells me that x is equal to 16. How about now? Okay, we want x on its own, so we're going to multiply both sides by 8 this time, which leaves me with x is equal to 16 again. How about now? Again, we're multiplying both sides by 8, which leaves me with x is equal to negative 16, because negative 2 times 8 gives me negative 16. Okay, Year 8, can you pause the video for 10 to 15 minutes and have a go at these questions in your light blue books? Do that now, please. And these are the answers. Please check your work and see how you did. Okay, so far we've been looking at one-step equations, and now I want to move on to two-step equations. So in your dark blue books, can you write me the title, Solving Two-Step Equations? And then I'm going to do 2 examples, and then you're going to do 2 similar examples. So when you've got the title written down, pens down, eyes on me. I've got 4x plus 3 equals 15. I want to get x on its own. The first thing I'm going to get rid of is this plus 3. And to do that, I need to subtract 3 from both sides. Subtracting 3 from both sides will leave me with 4x is equal to 12. And now it looks just like the equations we've just been solving. If I divide both sides by 4, I'm left with x is equal to 3. For my second question, I've got 6x take away 3 equals 15. The first thing I want to get rid of is this take away 3. Jonas, how can I get rid of the subtract 3? What do I need to do to both sides of my equation? I need to add 3, exactly. That leaves me with 6x equals 15 plus 3, which is 18. I then want to divide both sides by 6, which leaves me with x is equal to 3. Over to Year 8, in your dark blue books, please now solve these two equations for me in the same way. Pause the video for a couple of minutes and complete those now, please. Right, let's go through the answers. For the first one, the first thing I want to do is get rid of this plus 5. And to do that, I need to subtract 5 from both sides. 14 take away 5 gives me 9. That leaves me with 3x equals 9. I then want to divide both sides by 3, which leaves me with x is equal to 3. For the second one, Libby, what do I want to do first? Great, I want to add 3 to both sides. That's my first step, to get rid of that negative 3. Add 3 to both sides, which leaves me with 5x equals 15. I then want to divide both sides by 5, which leaves me with x is equal to 3. Please make sure you've got these examples written in your dark blue books for me. And then mini whiteboards or light blue books, can you solve these two equations for me? Pause the video for a minute or two and work those out now, please. Okay, well done if you noticed these are exactly the same equation. Just because I've rearranged that first bit, 2x plus 3, I've swapped those over to make 3 plus 2x, it's still the same equation. My first step is going to be subtracting 3 from both sides, which gives me 2x is equal to 18, and then I'm going to divide by 2, which gives me x is equal to 9. They are the same equation. Subtract 3, divide by 2. Okay, Year 8, how about these two equations? Pause the video in your light blue books or on your mini whiteboards. Solve these now, please. Right, let's go through the answers. So the first one, I've got 3x plus 3 equals 21. Amelia, what do I want to do first? Subtract 3, very wise. Subtracting 3 from both sides leaves me with 3x equals 18. I then want to divide both sides by 3, which leaves me with x is equal to 6. Second example, this time I've got 6x plus 3. I've got 6x plus 3 equals 21. I'm going to start in the same way. I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides, which leaves me with 6x is equal to 18. I'm then going to divide both sides by 6, which leaves me with x is equal to 3. How about now, in your light blue books or on your mini whiteboards, solve these two equations for me. Right, let's go through it. The first one, my first step is going to be to add 8 to both sides. To get rid of this subtract 8, so we're just left with x's. That leaves me with 3x equals 30. I then divide both sides by 3, which leaves me with x is equal to what, Mia? 10, great. For the second one, we're going to start off in the same way. We're going to add 8 to both sides, which gives me 38. 4x equals 38. My next step, I'm going to divide both sides by 4, which will give me 38 over 4, which I can simplify to 19 over 2. I've included this example so you can notice that you might not always get a whole number as your answer. Okay, Year 8, light blue books for me. Please pause the video for about 10 minutes and have a go at these questions for me. And these are the answers. Please check your work and see how you did. Okay, Year 8, here are some trickier examples where the answers might not always be whole numbers. Please pause the video for 10 minutes and have a go at these for me. Notice that half n could just be written as n over 2. 2/3 n, if you get onto this one, could be written as 2n over 3. Pause the video and complete these questions in your light blue books now, please. And these are the answers. Please check your work and see how you did. You might have written them as mixed numbers or improper fractions. Both answers are correct. And this was today's lesson destination. Please pause the video and have a go at this question in your light blue book. Right, Logan, let's go through this one. What's my first step going to be, Logan? I want to get rid of this subtract 11, so the first thing I'm going to do is add 11 to both sides. Adding 11 to both sides leaves me with 5w equals 35. And then what's my next step, Logan? I want w, what's saying, Logan? Divide by 5, thank you. Which leaves me with w is equal to 7. And that's the end of today's lesson. Please head over to Google Classroom and submit today's exit ticket. Thanks for listening, Year 8, and have a wonderful day. Goodbye.